What's up guys, welcome back, and I'm here to bring you the top 5 suburbs in the greater Denver area. And I made a previous video on the top 5 neighborhoods within the city of Denver, and that's all great and all for people that are interested in being walking distance to work, having the trendy restaurants, and just having that public transportation easily accessible. Maybe they just like the hustle and bustle, and that's why I created that video. But this video is a little bit different. This is geared towards more of my clients that want that suburb feel, family-oriented, great school districts, and just that peace and quiet, that neighborhood feel. And I'll be using the same rubric from last time where it has affordability, schools, walkability, transportation, education, and all that good stuff. And I'll be rating it 1 through 10 per suburb. I'll be using that same grading system, and I'm going to call it the Denver Suburb Knockout. And without further ado, let's get into the first suburb. I'm really excited to show this to you guys. Let's go with the knockout round. Number 1 on the list is Littleton. It is a Denver suburb gem, and it's over in the southwest corner of the greater Denver area. Littleton has a cool little downtown area with trendy restaurants and cafes, but it has a bunch of residential homes here. If you're into water sports, you definitely gotta check out Chatfield Reservoir. But if you just wanna hang around the trails and enjoy the scenery, you gotta go check out McClellan Reservoir, Cooley Lake, and South Platte Reservoir. And if you didn't know, Littleton's actually a little bit bigger than being confined where the 470 is, like on the southwest side. It actually goes all the way down south to where Roxborough Park is, a cool little community with, it's like a very tight-knit community. And it's right next to Roxborough State Park, which I would highly recommend you go check out. Now on to the suburb knockout round. We go on to our first category, the affordability, which I would give it a 6 out of 10. Littleton has a whole bunch of housing options here, so you're gonna get a wide range of different types of houses and median home prices here in this area. And for all of the affordability sections going forward, I'm gonna be basing it off of January 2023 all the way until right now, as a part of this filming, August 2023, and see where those prices fall ever since then. So the median home price as of July 2023 has increased all the way up to $645,000, which is more than the Denver metro area of approximately $600,000 for that median close price. Moving on to walkability, I would give Littleton a 4 out of 10. While some areas are walkable, Littleton is very car dependent, and to be honest, a lot of these suburbs are going to be very car dependent just because it's out there and there's not too much of that city life as well. So unless you're going down into the downtown Littleton scene or enjoying the parks in the city, you're going to need a car, and it's going to be a drive. As for transportation, I'm going to give Littleton a 6 out of 10. There's not much public transportation here, but I'm giving it some bonus points with it being so close to the 470, which gives you access to the western side, going up to Morrison, even further into the mountains, and even up to Golden if you were to go further north. And for amenities, I would give Littleton an 8 out of 10. There's a bunch of like boutique shops and restaurants, but I think the main pointer here is the access to trails, being away from the city life, and enjoying your life there with the whole family. Now moving on to community, I would give the community of Littleton the 9 out of 10 score. Littleton is more of a quieter town, so the people that live there often enjoy the slower pace of life and enjoying their specific community. And moving on to the schools category for Littleton, I would give it an 8 out of 10. According to Grade Schools, the Littleton School District is actually performing very well. According to gradeschools.org, Littleton is considered above average in the high quality of schools here. And the last category, entertainment, I would give it about a 6 out of 10. There are some things to do here, and I would say it's more family oriented. And it's definitely not going to be more of that city hustle and bustle feel to it. Moving on, our top 5 suburbs here in the greater metro Denver area. At number 2, I have Morrison. If you were to stay in Littleton and creep up more north and west towards the foothills, Morrison is right there, and it's definitely a smaller town, but it does extend a little bit. So Morrison actually extends a little bit more east going into the 470 or just past the 470, just south of the Bear Creek Lake Park, and also southwest going into the mountains and right off the 285. And personally, the reason why I love Morrison so much is because there are a ton of hikes and trails for you to just enjoy the great outdoors. And of course, with me loving the city so much still, I would say that Red Rocks Amphitheater is such an attraction nationwide. People come here from all over the country just to go check out Red Rocks Amphitheater. And comment down below if you want to hear more about the Red Rocks Amphitheater or what the draw is or maybe the history because I love that scene and I often go to the concerts scene there. No matter who you see there, it's going to be a spectacular time. Yeah, so comment down below if you want to see a video like that and going in depth on that venue. So after you go on your hike over in the Morrison area, go check out The Cow and Eatery. They got some really good milkshakes, burgers, Brussels sprouts, all of that good stuff. And I'm a sucker for sweet potatoes, so I would say go get your sweet potatoes there too. And let's get on to the rating system, the Denver Suburb Knockout. Let's go! So on to the first category is affordability. I'm going to give it approximately a 3 out of 10. So housing costs can vary here in the Morrison area, but I think the main draw here is the scenic scenes and also the proximity to the mountains. So the median home price for Morrison is $852,000. And it is a pretty penny, but the thing is that you're paying for location, location, location. And if you know real estate like I do, that is the most important part in buying any property. Onto walkability, I would give Morrison a 5 out of 10. If you're staying within the main Morrison area, right next to the Red Rocks Amphitheater, I would give it a higher score if you're in that area. But because Morrison stretches out a little bit more, it's just more car dependent. Onto transportation, I would give it about a 6 out of 10. Very limited public transportation, and Morrison is okay to get to. I think the only thing is that you can get to Morrison from the 470 going west and a little bit south, and you can also reach it via the 70 or even the 6. You just got to connect it to the 470 and go a little bit more west towards the mountains. You'll see Morrison there. You'll see a map eventually. And another reason why I give it a 6 out of 10 is because it is so close to the mountains and you will enjoy the mountain view pretty much wherever you're at within the Morrison area. On to the next section is amenities. Amenities, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. There are tons of trails, a ton of hikes. You are close to the mountains and a lot of cool boutique shops. It's a no-brainer here. I myself would love to stay in Morrison just for that nature feel without actually being so into the mountains. For community, I would give Morrison an 8 out of 10. There's a lot of local organizations that have cool pop-ups, cool events, and things like that. And a lot of people here that stay here are residential owners. They own the home and they stay in there. There's not too many renters in the Morrison area. So people that buy homes here are proud to live here and want to stay in Morrison. However, I will say there is a demand for people that want to come out to Morrison just for the Red Rocks Amphitheater. So if you wanted to go on that summer trip for 2 or 3 months at a time, I would say rent out your home on Airbnb or something like that, and I could definitely help you out with that because I do the same thing with my homes. Onto the category of schools, I would give Morrison a 6 out of 10. So with that, I don't think that Morrison is known for its school system, so I would think that other suburbs just have a better education system. And onto entertainment, I would probably give it a 10 out of 10, but just for the sake of being a little bit more conservative, I would say 9 out of 10. Like I said earlier on the amenities section, there are trails, hikes, close to the mountains, Red Rocks Amphitheater, cool boutique shops. Downtown area is a nice, cool area. Yeah, 9 out of 10 for sure. And on to number 3 in the top 5 suburbs, in my opinion, within the greater Metro Denver area, I would say is Arvada. And for you locals out there, do you pronounce it Arvada or Arvada? Like, I don't know what kind of A it is, so let me know in the comments below. Is it Arvada or Arvada or Arvada? You know what I mean? Can you hear the difference? So I think the main draw here in Arvada is that you're getting closer to the city life over the Denver area. You're approximately like 12 minutes away from the Denver area, and if you really want to have a date night, it's not too far away. And a lot of residents within Arvada love the Old Town Arvada scene. It's a big old plaza with dozens of boutique shops, restaurants, and a lot of amenities over there. It's just a cool scene with parks all around it as well. Now on to the Denver Suburb Knockout Round. Let's go! So the first category, affordability. I would give Arvada a 7 out of 10. There are a ton of new developments happening in Arvada, going more on the north side because just to the south is about that 70 freeway. More condos, more multifamily, things like that. It's constantly growing. As of July 2023, the median home price is about $612,000. And on to the next section, walkability. I would give Arvada a 6 out of 10. There are a bunch of parks and plazas and boutique shops and things like that, especially in Old Town Arvada. But the thing is that it's still very car dependent. Transportation, I would give Arvada a 7 out of 10. We have a light rail going through Arvada, which is a huge improvement compared to the other suburbs. We have 2 stops, one at Arvada Ridge and within Old Town Arvada, which is a big benefit for people that want to go into Union Station, which is closer to the Denver area. And as for amenities, I would give Arvada a 7 out of 10. There's not too many like trails or hikes or things like that, but there's a lot of boutique shops and little restaurants like that, so I think you can enjoy yourself that way. Plus, there's a Costco not too far away from the freeway before you head into the Arvada area, so pretty convenient if you ask me. So for community, I would give Arvada a 9 out of 10. With all the local boutique shops, people love helping out the local community. And if you have a loved furry friend, a pet, especially a dog, go check out one of my favorite dog parks. It's the West Arvada Dog Park. It's a huge dog park. I don't know what the acreage is and all that good stuff, but my dog absolutely loves it. Moving on to the schools category, I would give Arvada a 5 out of 10, mainly because gradeschools.org gave Arvada right in that middle, that 50 percentile for the school ratings here. And onto entertainment, I would give Arvada about a 7 out of 10. There's something for everyone here, and I would especially look at, of course, the restaurants and the Old Town Arvada scene. But I would say the Apex Indoor Water Park is a huge hit for kids and my cousins that want to visit me. I often take them there. It is a really cool space. Now moving on to number 4 in the top 5 suburbs within the greater Denver area, I would have to say that it's Castle Rock. Castle Rock is like at the very southern tip of the greater Metro Denver area, so if you want to be out there away from the city life, this is just for you, especially if you want that mountain feel without being right in the mountains or paying that mountain price. The downtown scene is bursting at the seams with restaurants, breweries, parks, and golf courses too. My wife actually has a rock climbing gym over there called Uber Grippin', and she goes there all the time. It's a really good rock climbing gym if you're into that. Castle Rock is actually going through a revitalization of the downtown area, so a lot of commercial spaces are being built there, and a lot of residential spots, like residential homes, are being built. So there's a lot of new construction happening just on the outskirts of Castle Rock. So a lot is happening here. A lot of money is going into the development. Onto Castle Rock's affordability, I would say that Castle Rock would be a 6 out of 10. The median home price in Castle Rock is about $704,000 compared to the greater Metro Denver area, which is approximately $600,000 as of July. Onto walkability, I would give Castle Rock a 5 out of 10. It's still very car-centric, and if you were to find the right spots, you can walk around. But yeah, I would say just bring your car and expect to drive. And for transportation, I'm going to give Castle Rock a 4 out of 10. It's just not very attractive for public transportation. I think giving it some points, that 4 points out of 10, is merely because you have to drive through it from the 25 to get into Castle Rock, and it's easy access to get to the freeway, so I'll give it 4 points. Going on to Castle Rock amenities, I would give it an 8 out of 10. There's a whole bunch of things to do here, from hikes, trails, golfing, and just exploring the western side. I think it's a really cool place. Going on to the community section, I would give it a 7 out of 10. There's a lot of cool local organizations here in the Castle Rock area. It also has that mountain feel without being too disconnected from the greater Metro Denver area. It's like the last remaining town or city prior to getting into Colorado Springs, so it's definitely out there. Going out to the category of schools, I'm going to give Castle Rock an 8 out of 10. Schools are rated pretty high here, especially being within the Douglas School District. 70% of the schools here are considered above average. Entertainment, I'm going to give Castle Rock a 7 out of 10. So with that 7 out of 10, something that I forgot to mention is that the outlet malls are here. So if you want to go shopping for clothes, shoes, toys, or even beef jerky at a discount price, definitely go check out the outlet malls over in Castle Rock. Now on to the last of the 5 top suburbs within the greater Metro Denver area. I'm going to have to say that it has to be Parker. About 10 minutes away from Castle Rock to the north and a little bit to the west, you're going to be seeing a lot of new development here, especially single family homes, and maybe they're mixing in some mixed use here as well. But definitely single family homes here. Parker has a modest downtown area with a lot of boutique shops as well, but it's not that big. I wouldn't go there for a full day. I would just say get a really good coffee from Fika Coffee House, because that's one of my favorite coffee houses, especially in the Parker area, but definitely within the greater Metro Denver area. And now on to the Denver Suburb Knockout Round. Let's go! Onto the first section, let's go on to the affordability of Parker. I would give it a 7 out of 10. The median home price of Parker is about $638,000. And of course, comparing it to the Metro Denver area, it is $600,000. And I think it's a little bit lower just because there's a lot of new construction here and a lot of inventory. So when supply goes up, demand decreases because people can fulfill their demand. And plus, with all this new construction, a lot of developers just want to have that lower price so that they can sell and move on with the product for that whole community. So nonetheless, I think it's still pretty affordable to move here, and I can only see the prices of Parker going up at this point. And as for the walkability of Parker, I would give it a 4 out of 10. It is not my favorite walkable place and is definitely car-centric. If you want it to be more walkable, I would say get closer to the downtown Parker area, right off Main Street. On to the next section is transportation. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 10. Parker is not really known for its public transportation, and it's kind of hard to get to, especially when you're traveling from the city. The 25 freeway, which is one of the main arteries going north and south through the greater Metro Denver area, is approximately 12 to 15 minutes away, so that's not too attractive. But the thing is that the 470, which takes you right to the airport, is not far away. And for amenities, I'm going to give Parker an 8 out of 10. Cherry Creek Trail runs right through Parker, and it's about 30 miles of trail that runs parallel to the Cherry Creek Creek? Yeah, Cherry Creek. So it's pretty nice that you could just go out from your home, go down into Cherry Creek, and enjoy your morning walk with that sound of rushing water right next to you. Moving on to community, I would give Parker a 9 out of 10. There is a really strong sense of community here, especially with really great schools, which I will bring up in a moment, but also the equestrian recreations, basically horses, like horse riding and things like that. And a really big dog park is not too far away, right up South Parker Road. That is the Cherry Creek Dog Park. Definitely go check all of that stuff out. Schools, I'm going to give Parker a 9 out of 10. It's within that Douglas County school system, and a lot of them are considered above average based on gradeschools.org. I will say with a caveat here that there are 2 school districts here. There's the Elizabeth School District and also the Douglas County one. So Douglas County has higher ratings versus Elizabeth is right down the middle, right at 50%, right about average. Douglas County schools like Littleton and Castle Rock included, those are much higher in the school ratings. And on to the last category, I'm going to give Parker a 7 out of 10 for entertainment. So my parents live in Parker, and I went over there for 4th of July, and I actually thought it was really cool. There was like a venue, food trucks, people laying around in the lawn, and I think there was like almost 1,000 people, maybe like 2,000 people enjoying the fireworks and even the drone show there as well. And if you're really into horses, there's a lot of stables, a lot of farms, and horseback riding activities here in this area. So it's almost that nice mix of like residential and a little bit of the metro feel, I guess you can call it. Nonetheless, Parker's growing, especially with all of these single family homes and all of the new developments happening. I think it's worth a look. So that about wraps it up for the Denver Suburb Knockout. I hope this definitely helps you out, especially with the categorization of everything. So if you want a little bit more insights on what suburb is right for you, what I think is growing faster than others, or things like that, feel free to send me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email, smoke signals, whatever it might be. My contact information is down below. I'm really excited to hear from you. Thanks so much again for watching, and I'll see you guys next week.